First off, I want to give all praises and glory to the Most High Yahweh in the name of His only begotten Son Yahweh Shai. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of GMS who taught me this truth. Salutations to all the brothers that's pushing this word in truth and sincerity and peace, blessings and healings onto the elect. And today I got a couple of things I want to get into. Things are getting hot and heavy out there. And this is the first article. Trump admin pulling out of Open Skies reconnaissance treaty over Russia violations. So, Yahweh Shai is doing everything he said he would do. So I'm going to play this video and then get some scriptures.
Russia and us have developed very good relationship. As you know, we worked on the oil problem together. I think we have a very good relationship with Russia, but Russia didn't adhere to the treaty. So until they adhere, we will pull out. But there's a very good chance we'll make a new agreement or do something to put that agreement back together. But whenever there's an agreement that another party doesn't agree to, we have many of those agreements around the world where it's a two-party agreement, but they don't adhere to it, and we do. When we have things like that, we pull out also. That's why with the arms treaties, if you look at the arms treaties, we're probably going to make a deal with Russia on arms treaty, and China will be maybe included in that. We'll see what happens. But we have a lot of things. But when we have an agreement, when we have a treaty, and the other side doesn't adhere to it, in many cases they're old treaties, old agreements, then we pull out also. So I think what's going to happen is we're going to pull out, and they're going to come back and want to make a deal. We've had a very good relationship lately with Russia, and you can see that with respect to oil and what's happening with oil.
So as you can see, Trump out there lying his ass off. If you do your history, if you look into history, America hasn't held on to many of its treaties. You know what I'm saying? And I'll get that, but this is Psalms 58:3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they are born, speaking lies. You know what I'm saying? And this is the Edomites' MO. They're liars. You know what I'm saying? This is Psalms 55:21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawing swords, because all this going back and forth for Russia is going to lead to World War III. And all this smooth talking, it's not doing anything. Because Russia, at the end of the day, they know who their enemies are. They're not like you Israelites out here where you just giving a white man a pass. These Russians ain't giving nobody a pass. Yeah, they're going to be the main catalyst to destroy America. They're going to be nuking America. You know what I'm saying? This is Proverbs 26:24. He that hateth dissembleth with his lips, and layeth up deceit within him. When he speaketh fair, believeth him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. Yeah, and these are the Edomites. 101. Whose hatred is covered by deceit, his wickedness shall be showed before the whole congregation. And this is what these Edomites are about to do. They're about to declare their wickedness. They don't care about having to attain to all these treaties, having to attain to the Constitution. You know what I'm saying? They're getting tired of that shit. They're about to just go full-blown devil. This is Sirach 14:7. And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly. And at the last, he will declare his wickedness. And this is what the Edomites are about to do. They're about to declare their wickedness. They're about to go full-blown World War III, full-blown putting people in the camps, full-blown being the devil, you know what I'm saying? And this is a list that I got. It's not just Trump. The U.S. has always broken its treaties, pacts, and promises. And this was on May 12, 2018. And you can pause the video and you can look. But I'll read the first one. Treaties between the U.S. and the American Indian nations between 1722 and 1869. They broke about 374 treaties. They broke every single one of them. But you Native Americans, you're the tribe of Gad. You know what I'm saying? You're one of the tribes of Israel. So you shouldn't have trusted this Edomite to begin with, but it was prophecy that you would be overcome, but you'll overcome at the last. So I'm gonna scroll through these, and you can pause the video and look. You know what I'm saying? It's just he's broken so many treaties. It is what it is. You can't trust this Edomite by any means necessary. And this only goes up to 2015, but they've broken the INF treaty with Russia also. You know, so let's see what Russia got to say. Moscow says it was U.S. that violated Open Skies Treaty, still willing to say pact essential to European security. Russia will do anything in its power to salvage the Open Skies Treaty after the U.S. signaled its intentions to withdraw from one of the few remaining arms control pillars, Moscow said, rejecting claims it violated the pact. If the U.S. exits the treaty, a blow will be dealt to a rather fragile balance of interests of its parties. And this is talking about the EU and NATO, because even they're divided on this. You know what I'm saying? As it said in Daniel 2:40, but I'll get it. As a result, not only the OST will suffer, but also the European security framework as a whole. The Russian foreign minister said in a statement after the U.S. President Trump announced he would be withdrawing from the agreement that allows reconnaissance planes to overfly the territory of its signatories. In force since 2002, the treaty currently involves 35 states, including Russia and the U.S., and it is considered to be one of the cornerstones of the global arms control mechanisms aimed at reducing the possibility of a military conflict and breaking out due to a lack of transparency. So the Open Skies Treaty is basically like the U.S. can fly over Russia and Russia can fly over the U.S. That's stupid as hell. Fuck that shit. But this is going to just lead to World War III. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh Messiah is stirring up the Edomites on the west and stirring up the Edomites over there in the east. You know, and that's going to be the final showdown, America versus Russia. And then at the end of it all, America and Russia is going to nuke each other. Yeah. This is Ecclesiastes. This is Ezekiel 38:1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. And say, Thus say the Lord God, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. And Gog and Magog's talking about Russia. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. You know, and it says, I will turn thee back because Russia was weak after the Cold War. You know, the Soviet Union got disbanded, but Putin got put in office, and he's putting that warrior spirit back into them Russian Edomites. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they can't escape prophecy. The prophecy is that, you know, they will go to war with America. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. And Persia's talking about Iran. You know, Ethiopia, Libya with them. Gomar and all of his bands, the house of Togarmah, you know, that's talking about Turkey. And of the north quarters and all of his bands and many people with thee. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself and all thy company that are assembled against thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So, you know, Russia got allies like Iran, Ethiopia, Libya. You know, America and Russia's having proxy wars out there in Libya and Syria. You know what I'm saying? They're already going to war, you know, but it's just not head-to-head yet. They're doing proxies, you know, and I talked about this yesterday. It's just a spirit. And I got another article. Trusted NATO ally Germany set to abide by Open Skies Treaty, even after U.S. pulls out, calls on others to make it stay. Yeah, so just like I say, Yahweh Shemashah is putting everything into motion because, you know, this kingdom is like, It's divided. This is Daniel's 2:40. And the fourth kingdom shall be as strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things. And as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise. And this is talking about the Roman Empire. And let me read Revelation 13:1. Let me just explain some stuff. And I stood upon Revelation 13:1, and I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the names of blasphemy. This is talking about the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns is NATO and the EU. The 7 heads equals 7 governments or kingdoms ruled by Esau. It got the full names of blasphemy, which is philosophy, democracy, religion, idolatry, homosexuality, lies, adultery, covetousness, and murder, which every Edomite empire has pushed ever since Greece. So you got the EU over here: Belgium, Denmark, France, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Greece, Ireland, England, West Germany. And we're talking about Germany right now. And then you got NATO. It was established August 4th, 1949, consisting of 19 nations: Greece, Italy, Spain, France, West Germany, United Kingdom, Portugal, Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg, Canada, Norway, Denmark, Iceland, Turkey, United States, Poland, Hungary, Czech Republic. These nations make up NATO, which is the beast. So when you read that in the scriptures, that's what it's talking about. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death. This is talking about when Rome fell. Yeah, because Rome did fall, 70 AD. And his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast. So, the Edomites got back in power during the Renaissance. You know what I'm saying? And they've been ruling ever since. But they're only going to rule for a little season. They don't got that long. Yahweh Shemashah is coming back to destroy him. But going back to Daniel's, because I just wanted to explain that, to expound on it. This is Daniel's 2:41. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of the potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. So like it said, the kingdom would be divided. And it is divided. NATO, EU, and America, Yahweh Shemashah is putting everything in a place where they're bucking up against each other, just like he said he would. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. It's partly strong with its military might, but it's partly broken because they're all divided. And I got another article here. Europe is abandoning Trump on the world stage as it turns away from the U.S. towards China. Yeah. President Trump is presiding over the deterioration of the U.S. position on the world stage. Deterioration of the U.S. position on the world stage as Europe countries increasingly look toward China as a future global leader. Just like I said, they would be divided. This shift is apparent in a series of recent opinion polls that found Europe sentiment toward the U.S. to be in decline since the start of the coronavirus pandemic. And, Yahweh Shemashah is just playing chess. He did the lockdown. He was doing this. He was doing that, because his words got to be made manifest. New polling published in Germany this week found that an overwhelming majority of Germans said that they had a worse position of the U.S. because of the pandemic. The survey found that 76% of Germans said their view of the U.S. had deteriorated because of the pandemic, compared with 36% who said the same with China, the poll found. So, like I said, and now they're starting to turn on America and going with China, which is America's enemy. This is Obadiah 1:7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There was none understanding in him. So, when the end days, all of America's allies, I'm going to turn on them. You know what I'm saying? All the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Because at the end of the day, Russia's going to nuke America, Iran, and whoever got nukes, China, and NATO and the EU, they're all going to nuke America in the end. This is Revelation 17:16. And the 10 horns which thou sattest upon the beast, which sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. And who's the whore? I'll just get the picture. This is the whore, the great whore that sitteth on the beast. It's talking about America. And there came, Revelation 17:1, and there came out of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show thee unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. So, the judgment of America is getting nuked. You know what I'm saying? In the end, I can get that in Revelation 18 real quick. This is Revelation 18. And 2, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and cage of every unclean and hateful bird. And if you read down to 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall utterly be burned with fire, for strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. Yahweh Shemashah is going to destroy America. This is Revelation 18:10, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, at last, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. So it's only going to take 1 hour for Yahweh Shemashah to destroy America off the face of the earth. You know what I'm saying? But double honors unto the elders and apostles of GMS who taught me this truth, and call halal Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rahah Kodash.